we are to solve the following log equations and round to 3 decimal places if necessary. Keep in mind that when we're solving log equations, we have to check for extraneous solutions because our argument cannot be negative or 0. In order to do this, we would take both our solutions and plug it back into our argument. If the argument turns out to be negative or 0, then that means the solution wouldn't satisfy. If the argument is greater than 0, so if it's a positive number, then it would satisfy as a solution. Let's take a look at our first example. Notice how we have log base 5 on both sides of the equation, and then we're followed with a base. If the bases are equal, then we can set our arguments equal to each other. So that would give me 8x plus 2 equals 13x minus 8. I would first add 8 on both sides, and that would give me 8x plus 10 equals 13x. And now I would subtract 8x on both sides. So that would give me 10 equals 5x. To isolate for x, I would divide by 5, and that would give me x equals 2. And that is our final answer. For our second example, in order to isolate for our argument, we would have to apply our definition of a log. And that would give me 7x plus 4 equals 9 to the 2. 9 squared is 81, and here I would subtract 4 on both sides. That will give me 7x equals 77, and I would divide 7 on both sides to isolate for x, and that will give me x equals 11. That is our final answer. In the third example, notice how we are summing up these two quantities with the same base. So in order to do that, we can apply our product law property, which combines these two logs into a single log with a single argument. So in order to do that, we can just multiply our arguments with each other. And now I'm going to simplify the argument. And that's going to give me log base 4 of negative x squared minus 10x equals 2. In the next step, I'm going to isolate for the argument. So I'm going to have to apply the definition of a log. So that's going to give me negative x squared minus 10x equals 16. And I'm going to subtract 16 on both sides to set this equation equal to 0. And I'm also going to make all signs positive in order to make my next step much easier. So now I have x squared plus 10x plus 16 equals 0. Now we can factor this, and I'm going to get x plus 2 times x plus 8 equals to 0. Since now we have the binomials, we can set each equals to 0. Plus 8 equals to 0. And that's going to give me x equals negative 2 and x equals negative 8. Now, since we have two solutions, we're going to have to plug each back into the argument to see if it satisfies the argument rule. And if we try plugging negative 2 into both, that makes both arguments positive, so that's correct. And if we plug negative 8 into both our arguments, that's also going to give both positive arguments. So that means these two, negative 2 and negative 8, are our correct answers.